When the news broke at dawn, CLARA STERLING'S coffee cup rattled in her hand. The TV blared the headline: District Judge Marcus Sterling accused of embezzling campaign funds. Marcus, a respected jurist known for his stern fairness, was alleged to have siphoned over $2 million from his re-election campaign. His shockwave rippled through Seattle's legal community. Clara, his wife of 10 years and partner at Sterling Rowe LLP, felt her world shatter. She called Marcus's chambers. The voice on the line was measured but tense. "Clara, I am fine. I am innocent." That single word, innocent, echoed in her mind. But why would her husband refuse details? Before she could ask, the line went dead. Clara's pulse thundered. She had two choices: stand by Marcus or trust the evidence mounting against him. She vowed to clear his name, no matter what the cost. That morning at the firm, Clara met her law partner and oldest friend, Gavin Rowe. His normally steady gaze flickered with worry. "Clara, you need to know. Marcus has been acting strangely. Late-night meetings at the law library, calls at odd hours from encrypted numbers, and I just discovered a second mortgage on your house." Clara's chest tightened. A second mortgage? Marcus had never mentioned financial stress. "Why?" she whispered. Gavin shook his head. "I do not know, but it lines up with missing campaign funds." Clara forced a nod. She thanked Gavin and retreated to her office, mind racing. The husband she trusted might be hiding everything and dragging her down in the process. Clara began her own investigation. She subpoenaed Marcus's campaign treasurer and bank statements, tracing the fund flows. Each night, after tucking in their two children, Ella, age 7, and Noah, age 5, she pored over ledgers and receipts, illuminating dark corners of Marcus's finances. Within days, she uncovered suspicious wire transfers to an offshore shell company. Worse, an email chain between Marcus and a former clerk, Helen Nguyen, recently dismissed for misconduct, hinted at help in the shadows. Clara confronted Marcus at dinner. He rose from the table. "This is a witch hunt. I refuse to discuss court business at home." He slammed his chair. Ella began to cry. Clara realized Marcus had already weaponized the bench and the courtroom for a private war. 2 weeks later, Clara arrived at work to find her desk cleared. On the screen of her locked office computer glared a resignation letter, typed in her signature font. "Effective immediately, I resign from Sterling Rowe, citing a conflict of interest in light of ongoing marital proceedings." Attached was an email chain revealing Clara's strategy to share client confidences with Marcus, fabricated, of course, enough to trigger an ethics investigation. Clara's heart plummeted. Someone had leaked Gavin's private resignation and false evidence. Gavin pinned her in the hallway. "Clara, it wasn't me," he pleaded. "I sealed my letter in the safe. Marcus must have stolen it." Clara's head swirled. Her husband had stopped destroying her career. She vowed to rip his defenses apart, as he had hers. Clara moved out, taking the children to her parents' home. Marcus remained in the townhouse, launching press statements branding Clara vindictive and uncooperative. The Bar Association opened a preliminary inquiry into Clara's fitness to practice. Clara's parents rallied. Her mother drove Ella to piano. Her father sat with Noah after school. Gavin provided pro bono office space and research assistance. At night, Clara drafted motions to dismiss the ethics charges and filed for emergency custody, yet doubt gnawed at her. The sanctuary of her childhood home was fragile. Marcus's Venom Project, as she called it, had collateral victims everywhere they had lived. In the courthouse basement, Clara's malpractice defense uncovered Helen Nguyen's new employment at the district attorney's office. Helen's fingerprints on the internal campaign audit revealed she had forged Marcus's signatures on withdrawal forms, exculpatory for Marcus, but implicating Clara as the accomplice. Clara confronted Adia Laurent Chen in his office. He insisted on prosecuting both spouses. Clara realized the bench's power extended beyond the courtroom. Every hallway conversation, every clerk's report was now a battlefield. Clara's custody hearing became a media spectacle. A parade of expert witnesses testified to her volatility. Marcus sat impassive, watching his beloved courtroom dance. Clara's own cross-examination unveiled her life. 2 careers, sleepless nights, tearful moments. She dropped her guard, exposing her heart's raw ache. "I love my children more than the air they breathe. I would never harm them or my marriage through deceit." The judge's gaze softened, but the battle was far from over. A clerk handed a sealed envelope, the forged court documents, direct indictment of Clara's legal ethics. The trial adjourned for another day. Gavin discovered Marcus quietly meeting with a senior bar investigator at an off-site cafe. Marcus's honeyed words, no doubt supplementing falsified declarations of facts. Gavin confided in Clara, "We need to expose Marcus's network, his secret influence on the judiciary." Clara hesitated. Such a move risked contempt. But as she watched Noah and Ella through the safe window, she steeled her resolve. "Let's pull back the curtain. Total transparency." They convened a small war room, Gavin on legal strategy, Clara on press coordination, her father on public statements. Each evening, they plotted the downfall of a judge who believed himself above reproach. Clara's team traced IOL, the shell company receiving the embezzled funds, to Veronica Callahan, an up-and-coming real estate developer and rumoured socialite. Public records linked Veronica to a lavish penthouse and political donations to Marcus's re-election campaign. Undercover surveillance captured Veronica meeting Marcus at a cafe near City Hall, handing him secured envelopes. Clara published the photos in an exposé with the Seattle Examiner, exposing the judge's off-the-record rendezvous. The public outcry was immediate. Judge Sterling's double life revealed. Editorial boards demanded his resignation. Marcus's facade cracked. The coup de grace came when Gavin discovered a pattern. Stock trades in companies involved in cases Marcus presided over, trades placed just before rulings. Clara submitted evidence to the SEC. Insider trading by a sitting judge. Financial regulators froze Marcus's brokerage accounts. The Bar Association moved to disbar him. His judicial immunity evaporated under the weight of corruption charges. Clara watched from the gallery as federal agents handcuffed Marcus in the courtroom. His head bowed. The man who had once commanded respect now wore a shroud of disgrace. Marcus's sentencing was scheduled on a Tuesday morning. Clara sat with the children, now in foster care. Temporary custody granted to their grandparents pending trial. The judge read the verdict. Guilty on all counts: embezzlement, judicial misconduct, insider trading. Sentenced to 15 years in a federal penitentiary. Marcus glanced at Clara once, a flicker of remorse, and was led away. In private, Clara declined a public statement. She sent a brief note to the press. "Our family's pain is private. May the truth stand between us." She never visited him in prison. Months later, Clara closed Sterling and Rowe, starting her own modest practice focusing on domestic violence survivors, a cause close to her heart after the betrayal. Gavin joined her as senior counsel. On a rainy autumn evening, Clara returned to the Elm Street townhouse, now vacant. She walked through empty rooms, each echoing memories, wedding vows beneath the chandelier, children's laughter in the hallway. At the fireplace, she found a single envelope addressed to her in Marcus's handwriting. Inside, a brief note. "I loved you. I lost everything. I am sorry." Clara held the note until it curled in her hand, then dropped it into the hearth. Flames licked the paper, turning it to ash. She stepped back into the rain, letting it wash over her. No redemption followed, no last embrace, only the realization that betrayals leave wounds that never truly heal. As the wind howled through empty windows, Clara returned to her car. She drove into the night, her hand steady on the wheel, haunted, hardened, and on her own path forward.